Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation who's been redefining women's basketball with every NOLA pass and logo 3, just signed a $75 million deal with a brand new startup league, Unrivaled. And if that number made your jaw drop, good, because it should. This isn't just a contract. This is a seismic, history-writing, glass-ceiling demolishing power move. And it didn't just rattle the WNBA. It rattled the entire sports world. Because this is the kind of deal we only hear about in men's sports. The kind of deal that makes headlines across industries. The kind of deal that sends front offices into crisis meetings and execs scrambling for relevance. And the fact that Caitlin Clark is the one who pulled this off, it's poetic. Let's break it down. If you're here for the real story and not the filtered version, subscribe. And if you're sticking around for the next meltdown, $75 million. That's not just generational wealth, it's generational power. It's a message to every young athlete, every front office, every doubter who ever said, women's sports just don't bring in that kind of money. Guess what? They do now. And Clark isn't just cashing in. She's changing the market. She's rewriting what the ceiling looks like. And in the process, she's flipping the table on every outdated idea about what women athletes are worth. But here's where it gets wild. Despite the rumors, despite the tension, despite the staggering offer, Caitlin Clark is staying with the WNBA. You heard that right. She took the $75 million. She took the endorsements, the exposure, the cultural leverage, and she still chose loyalty. Legacy. The long game. What? Who does that? A generational talent who knows she's not just building career. She's building a future. A player who understands that her presence in the WNBA is not just good for her, it's good for the entire sport. Caitlin Clark didn't just sign a record-breaking deal. She signed a blueprint. She's not chasing checks. She's crafting a dynasty. And in doing so, she's forcing everyone, fans, players, coaches, execs, to look at women's basketball differently. Because let's be honest, this level of money, this kind of attention, it used to be unthinkable in women's sports. The most dominant female players were still making pennies compared to their male counterparts. Sponsorship deals? Few and far between. Media coverage? Sporadic at best. And then came Clark, a one-woman content machine, a walking highlight reel, the athlete who made casual fans start watching WNBA games, the name that sells out arenas in cities that never used to care. The player who turned women's basketball into just basketball. And now, she's the highest paid woman in the history of the sport. Let that sink in. But what really makes this a power move? It's not just the money, it's the control. This deal with Unrivaled isn't a full-time contract. It's flexible. It's smart. It's designed around her. And make no mistake, she designed it. She didn't jump ship for a check. She didn't abandon the league that gave her a platform. She worked around it. She built a new lane beside it. She said, I'm going to grow this sport, and I'm going to do it on my terms. And the way she did it? With NDAs, strategic silence, closed-door negotiations? Oh, it was chess, not checkers. Because while everyone else was speculating, will she leave? Is she being poached? Is she unhappy with the W? Caitlin was playing the long game. Calculating, negotiating, building, and when the curtain finally lifted, $75 million. Unprecedented, unrivaled, unstoppable. But here's where the real drama kicks in. Veteran WNBA players, some of whom have been grinding for over a decade, have never seen numbers close to this. And suddenly, a rookie walks in with a deal that eclipses the entire payroll of some teams. You already know that tension is brewing. And honestly, rightfully so, because this deal forces the league to face a brutal truth. Star power is currency. And Caitlin Clark is the dollar sign. It's not fair, but it is reality. She's pulling in ratings. She's moving merch. She's the reason ESPN is leading with WNBA coverage for the first time in history. She is, like it or not, the engine driving the machine. And yet, she's not acting like a diva. She's not demanding special treatment. She's still showing up, practicing hard, shouting encouragement from the bench when she's not playing, celebrating teammates' wins like they're her own. That's why this deal works. Because she's not just a face of the league, she's its foundation. And her decision to stay grounded, to keep building from inside the WNBA rather than cash out and walk away, it's a power move that says one thing loud and clear. I'm not done here. This isn't her exit. It's her ascension. But let's not pretend everyone's thrilled. Rival leagues? Fuming. Agents? Panicking. Some of the old guard? Nervously checking their relevance. Because Caitlin just did something no one thought was possible. She made women's basketball lucrative without abandoning loyalty. She showed that you can take the big check, get the global brand, and still stay committed to the mission. And that is terrifying to anyone who wanted to keep the sport small, quiet, and easy control. She just took the narrative, flipped it, monetized it, and put it on prime time. So now what? Now, the WNBA has to rise with her, because Caitlin can't carry it alone. This league needs to keep investing, promoting, and pushing, because now that Clark has raised the bar, there's no going back. The money's here. The spotlight's here. The expectations? Sky high. And you know what? That's exactly how she wants it. Because Caitlin Clark didn't sign a $75 million deal to just exist. She signed it to dominate, to evolve, to make damn sure that the sport never settles for scraps again. So here's the takeaway. Caitlin Clark just pulled off the biggest flex in women's sports history, and she did it without selling out. She stayed loyal, stayed focused, and still walked away with a deal that proves women athletes are worth every single dollar. And then some. And the best part? She's just getting started. If you're ready to watch this new era of women's basketball unfold in real time, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment below. Should more players follow Caitlin's path? Or is this a once-in-a-generation moment? Either way, we're witnessing history. And from here on out, it's unrivaled. This wasn't about a rookie getting paid. This was about a young woman walking into a boardroom, into a space historically run by older men in suits, and flipping the power dynamic entirely. Let's call it what it is. This is a new playbook. And Caitlin? She wrote it. We've seen superstars come into leagues before. We've seen players shake things up, raise ticket sales, boost ratings. But rarely does an athlete arrive and instantly become bigger than the structure she's entering, bigger than the rules, bigger than the expectations set before her. Caitlin didn't just step into the WNBA. She bent the league around her, and not because she demanded it, not because she was loud or rebellious or brash, but because she was that good, because her presence is that magnetic, because you cannot deny a player who delivers game after game, sells out every arena she enters, and turns casual fans into lifers. The $75 million wasn't just a contract. It was a receipt. It was a formal recognition of reality that fans, media, and executives have already known for months. Caitlin Clark isn't just part of the WNBA. She is the WNBA. Now, let's talk about Unrivaled. A startup women's basketball league, hungry to make a name for itself, signs the biggest star in the game to a flexible, part-time deal. It's giving disruptor energy. It's giving tech startup with swagger. It's the kind of aggressive, calculated move that forces the industry to sit up straight. And yes, the WNBA is officially on notice, because this deal changes everything. It sends a very clear message to every player, every league, every agent. You don't have to choose between loyalty and money anymore. You can do both. You can stay true to your league, your team, your fans, and still get paid like the star you are. That middle ground, Caitlin just built it. And the genius of it all? She didn't burn any bridges. She didn't issue ultimatums. She didn't throw shade. She simply made it happen. Quietly, strategically, on her terms. Now, let's be honest, the reaction? Mixed. Some longtime WNBA vets are skeptical. Understandably. They've been grinding for years, making the league what it is today. They played through empty arenas, minimal press coverage, and laughable salaries. And now, suddenly, Caitlin comes in and signs a contract worth more than some players' entire careers? It's a tough pill to swallow. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Clark didn't break the system. She exposed it. She pulled the curtain back on just how undervalued women athletes have been for decades. She showed that the money was there all along, It just wasn't being offered. And when someone finally did step up with real dollars, it wasn't the WNBA or a legacy brand. It was a newcomer with something to prove. Let that sink in. Unrivaled didn't just write a check. They made a statement. We see her value. We're not afraid to bet big. We're not waiting for the old system to catch up. And now, the pressure is on establishment. How will the W respond? How will they keep up when rival leagues are ready to throw Super Bowl money at their stars? How do they make sure this momentum doesn't leave them behind? Because here's the scariest part for traditionalists. This isn't a one-off. Caitlin Clark is the proof of concept, and you better believe other players are watching this play out like it's a masterclass in empowerment. Every young athlete coming up through college is going to look at this move and ask, why not me next? And they should. Because if one player can reshape the entire conversation around value, visibility, and compensation, imagine what happens when there's 10 of her, 20, a whole generation of athletes who don't just want to play the game, but own their narrative while doing it. That's the future. And Caitlin Clark just kicked the door wide open. Let's talk numbers again, because we have to. $75 million. Say it again. Let it echo. This is an amount we've never seen attached to a woman in professional basketball. It's the kind of money that used to be reserved for sneaker deals and top-tier quarterbacks. The kind of money that makes global headlines. That sparks headlines, lawsuits, think pieces, and podcasts. And what's so powerful is how intentional it was. This wasn't about cashing in. This wasn't about flexing. This was about setting a new standard. She didn't have to do this. She could have quietly stayed the course, stuck to the old system, collected a respectable check, and kept her head down. But she didn't. She saw a chance to change the game, not just for herself, but for every woman coming after her, and she took it. No apologies, no hesitation. And now, there's no going back. So what comes next? Well, the rest of the league has two choices: evolve or get steamrolled, because Caitlin isn't slowing down. She's not just going to play well, she's going to dominate. She's going to show up to unrivaled games, W games, promotional events, charity games, everything, and prove that, yes, she's worth every single dollar of that contract. And more importantly, she's going to show that women's basketball itself is worth that kind of investment, that it's no longer niche, no longer growing, no longer a passion project for woke sponsors and nice guy investors. It's a business. It's a force. It's a product people want to see, want to wear, want to believe in. And Caitlin Clark? She's the billboard, the blueprint, the beacon. She's not just a future. She's the now. This is about power. This is about a 22-year-old woman standing in the middle of two competing futures, one built on tradition, the other built on disruption, and saying, why not both? Think about that, because we've seen these crossroads before. We've seen the tension play out across sports history. Ollie refusing the draft, Serena flipping the script on tennis attire, Naomi Osaka choosing mental health over media. And now, Caitlin Clark walks in and completely reinvents what agency looks like for a young woman in sports. Let's be real, no one was ready for this. Unrivaled probably thought they could poach her, make her their crown jewel, slap her face on every billboard from LA to Times Square. The WNBA probably thought she'd smile for the cameras, play nice, and wait her turn behind the league's older stars. Fans? Most of them thought it would be a binary decision, either leave or stay, take the money or honor the legacy. But Caitlin? She said, why the hell should I have to choose? Why should I have to pick between being loyal and being paid? Between staying true to my league and taking the bag that reflects my worth? Between legacy and leverage? She refused a false choice. And that refusal? That's the revolution. It's a whole new model. One where a female athlete can be the WNBA's brightest light and have a foot in a new, experimental league. One where she can support her team, lead the rookies, fill arenas, and work with an upstart brand that's rewriting the rules. She's not breaking the system. She's showing that the system was never built to hold someone like her in the first place. And the world is watching. Let's talk about that spotlight. Because right now, Caitlin Clark is no longer just a basketball player. She's an industry. She's the content. She's the brand. She's the narrative. Turn on the TV, she's there. Check social media, trending. Go to a game, sold out. Buy a jersey, her name's on the back. You can't escape her. And frankly, why would you want to? She's electric. She's thrilling. She's historic. But what's remarkable is how she carries it all. The pressure, the politics, the whispers, the passive-aggressive commentary from league veterans, the comparisons to male players, the headlines that dissect her every move like she's not a real person trying to just play the damn game. And still, she shows up every single time. She shows up for her teammates, for the fans, for the game itself. And now, she's showing up for the future, for every girl in the driveway right now launching shots and dreaming of something bigger. Because Caitlin Clark just proved that the something bigger, it's real. It's not a fantasy. It's not a distant hope. It's now. It's happening. She made it tangible. This deal, this unrivaled agreement, it's the receipt for every time a girl was told to be realistic. It's a clapback for every coach who said women's basketball doesn't draw crowds. It's a knockout punch for every network that lowball broadcasting rights. It's proof, and with proof comes pressure. Let's not pretend this is all champagne and confetti, because with a deal this big, the critics are going to crawl out of the woodwork. Every missed shot, an essay. Every playoff loss, a think piece. Every Instagram post that's too confident, a full-blown backlash cycle. They will test her. They will challenge her worth. They will try to remind her of her place. But here's the thing. She's not giving them an inch. She's already endured more scrutiny than most male rookies see in their entire careers. She's been dissected, debated, doubted, and still delivered, over and over and over. So when they come for her now, she won't flinch, because she's playing a different game. Not just one of basketball, one of narrative, one of power dynamics, one of cultural transformation. Let's be very clear. Caitlin Clark isn't just a star of the WNBA. She's its anchor, its inflection point, its rebirth. And this unrivaled deal, it's the first chapter of something far bigger than contract. We're talking about the merging of multiple sports economies. We're talking about startups disrupting traditional leagues. We're talking about a future where female athletes aren't lucky to get attention. They command it. And if you don't see it yet, you will. Because Caitlin isn't just lighting the path. She's burning the old one down and drawing up a brand new map. One that includes fairness, compensation, choice, autonomy, power. And you want to know the wildest part? She's just getting started. She hasn't even hit her prime. She's still adjusting to pro-level defenses, still figuring out rotations, still building chemistry. And already she's having this kind of impact. It's almost scary how much more there is to come. Because this moment, this $75 million flexible multi-league moment, isn't the peak. It's the foundation. Caitlin Clark just built a launch pad for herself, for her league, for every woman who's ever laced up and wondered if there was more out there. Spoiler, there is. Caitlin Clark, a rookie, a first-year pro, a 22-year-old woman with no interest in bowing to tradition, just signed a $75 million contract with a startup league without leaving her original one. And somehow, that sentence still doesn't feel real. Because until now, the rules were simple. You signed with the WNBA, and that was your lane. You made a modest living, played your heart out, maybe got a couple overseas deals in the offseason, and hoped that if the media cared, if the sponsors noticed, if you were lucky, you might get the kind of spotlight routinely handed to male rookies just for showing up. But Caitlin Clark walked into the room and said, "I'm not here to hope for the spotlight. I am the spotlight." And here's the part that's hard to explain unless you've been watching her from the beginning. She didn't ask for this power. She earned it. She earned it with 40-foot threes that stunned entire arenas into silence. She earned it with game IQ that made veterans look like they were playing on delay. She earned it by showing up night after night, game after game, bringing intensity, creativity, and focus to a sport that's too often been underpromoted and undervalued. She didn't stumble into this. She forced it. And when Unrivaled saw that, they didn't hesitate. They wrote the check. They saw a future and decided to bet the house on her. And the brilliance of it all? She said yes, on her terms. She didn't bolt from the WNBA. She didn't throw her team under the bus. She didn't frame it as rebellion. She framed it as evolution. Because let's be honest, the WNBA's structure wasn't built for this kind of star power. No shade, no slander, but the league has spent the past few decades in survival mode, fighting for airtime, for respect, for funding. Then Caitlin Clark walks in, and within months, you've got national broadcast restructured around her games, historic ticket sales, sold-out away crowds, jersey numbers flying off shelves, conversations that never included women's basketball before, now entirely centered around her. That's not a player. That's a phenomenon, a brand, a movement. And now, thanks to this unrivaled deal, it's not just symbolic. It's backed by generational wealth, real investment, and global recognition. Let's talk about what this actually means. This deal opens up a whole new category of athlete. It sets a precedent for dual league flexibility, for custom-built contracts, for stars being treated like co-owners of the machine rather than just cogs in it. Because make no mistake, Caitlin Clark isn't just a face on a poster anymore. She's an architect. She's not just being paid to play. She's partnering in how the game gets played, where it gets shown, and who gets the benefit from it. She just tore down the door for every rising female athlete who used to think they had to choose between staying loyal to their league, or chasing the big check abroad, or sacrificing visibility for freedom, or waiting years for respect that may never come. Clark said, why not have all of it? And now, that blueprint is out there. What's unrivaled? It's more than a league. It's a signal. A neon sign to every agent, brand, exec, and player. There's another way. And the WNBA? They can't ignore it. They'll either evolve with this new reality, offer players more flexible opportunities, start thinking creatively about compensation, bring in deeper marketing partnerships, or they'll bleed talent to leagues at will, because now the power has shifted. It's no longer in the hands of gatekeepers. It's in the hands of stars. And Caitlin Clark just proved that she knows how to wield it. But here's the wildest part of all. She's still the same person. Still showing up early to shoot-arounds. Still hyping up her teammates. Still giving thoughtful interviews. Still dodging praise like it's a bad pass. Still carrying herself like she hasn't just been handed one of the most disruptive contracts in sports history. Because for her, the mission hasn't changed. It's always been about basketball, about doing the work, growing the game, making space for the next girl who dreams even bigger than she did. And that's what makes all of this so much more than just a moment. This isn't a cash grab. It's a career defined by intention. It's not rebellion. It's reform. It's not ego. It's equity. And for the people who think this is a fluke, that she got lucky, that it's a bubble, watch her play. Watch her lock in. Watch her show up again and again, on the floor, in the press, in the meetings. Watch her build something that outlasts her playing years. Because Caitlin Clark isn't just a player anymore. She's a business. She's a movement. She's a message to every girl who's ever been told to know her place in sports. And that message, I know it. It's at the top. If you're here for the drama, the dynasty, and the dawn of something we've never seen before, hit that subscribe button and leave your take in the comments. Is Caitlin Clark changing women's sports forever? Or has she already done it? Either way, remember this moment. Because it's not just basketball anymore. It's unrivaled.